Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Gasparilla Festival of Arts 51st Virtual Festival. We are here, or first off, my name is Megan Farrell Scalise. I am an artist that lives in Tampa and had the honor of being awarded Festival Image for the 50th festival, so last year. And so welcome, Dominice Gilbert, to our live Q&A session for today.
Hi, welcome to my studio in St. Petersburg, Florida.
So you're in St. Pete off First Avenue, so just across the bridge from where we actually hold our festival, which is lovely. I'm so glad that you're a local girl too. You want to go ahead and give us a quick introduction of what you do?
So I create original sculptures out of sheet metal. They're hollow formed, so they're made out of individual pieces of metal that are cut and formed and welded together. And you'll see a lot of how my process works in the video that I created. So.
Right, well, let's get started with that. We're gonna do a demonstration video from Dominice of how the process.
This is the beginning stages of a new sculpture. You can kind of see how we're through my design process a little bit here. We're going to bring on some metal shortly. But this piece is about relief and sort of the sense of a giant exhale and just a sense of feeling when you can just let go of something for a minute. So that's sort of the basis of this whole sculpture, and that's kind of the idea that the human mind is working through with this sculpture. So I'm going to be cutting out these pieces of porcelain. That's the patterns we're going to be working on. This is just a small portion of my patterns. And so you can discover here coming out. So I cut everything by hand with the shear. I do that because I'm a great deal of accuracy when I'm cutting. So I have a specific way that I want to look, and I want my cuts to be really smooth. It's a bit more labor intensive, but I'm going to get results.
Don't worry about that. Thank you. In the background, there's also recording.
So this is one of the pieces that got to that stage, and I'm just pulling in the side. So one of that really change it into a further to this one here. So I've got the side kept on all pieces now. We're kind of starting to see the form come together a little bit. These pieces are all still separate right now, and I got to make all my more pieces and get those tacked on. These are all separate. I'm sitting there to see the form a bit. So I'll get the other pieces tacked on there, and I'll show some of that, and then lots of welding, lots of grinding, and then I'll be adding bronze on top and finish off some patina work, and get to see this thing come together. All round and fully fabricated, and except we're going to be adding the wands to overlay onto the sides. Kind of prep them to be welded on. But in the meantime, I've been looking at the sculpture, and I decided that I'm going to be removing actually one of the pieces that I fabricated. So I feel like the form is just a little bit more elongated than what I wanted. And so I'm going to remove that piece, which is going to make it a little bit more round. I'm kind of using that jar of wax as a representation of where the base is probably going to go. And I think this will give me a little bit more leeway to put sort of a curve on it when I'm actually welding them together. So I don't really want to weld them so much in one plane. I'm going to try to put a twist on that or do something a little bit more so it's out of plane a bit. So having that piece out will also help with that. So I've kind of learned over the years that you should always reevaluate your work as you're making it. And not get really bogged down in your original design if you feel like things need to change. So.
stunning. Such a great job, Dominice.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So we have so many questions for you today, and I'm going to try to get through them all. But I just wanted to start off first, just asking about your beautiful studio space with the outdoor garden. How long have you been?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How long have you been open?
Well, we just opened during the pandemic to the public. We built the studio 2 years ago. We got our certificate of occupancy. We built the studio ourselves, not ourselves by hand, but some of it we did. But as soon as the pandemic hit, I finally had time to sort of finish my outdoor area so I could open up for Second Saturday Art Walk and invite people in. So I believe it was October was when we first opened up, and it's been really interesting and nice to share my space with people. Yeah.
Good, congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of the pandemic, how has that affected you and your business over the last year?
It's affected my business a great deal. It's really been pretty devastating, I would say. It's been quite a change. I've done my best to try to stay positive and do what I can while times are slow and everybody's figuring out how to kind of work through just life right now. And I've been kind of expressing some of that in my work. I've been doing pieces that are about sort of rough edges and separation and just sort of the fracturing of society that's happened over the past year.
It's definitely hard not to have it influenced in the artwork that's produced. Like, the whole point of being an artist is, you know, it shows through your experiences, your emotions, and I can see that in your pieces. Beautiful though. How long have you been participating in Gasparilla Festival of the Arts?
This will be my third year. This virtual year will be my third year, yeah. Yeah, it's been a wonderful festival. It was actually the last festival that I did last year before the pandemic happened. So I look back on it so fondly now. I'm so ready to get back. But I'll definitely, I'm looking forward to next year. And I'm excited about this virtual festival too. Hopefully people will check it out online and have extra time to do that. And even from places where they wouldn't normally be able to see it, like if they're in another state or whatnot, so.
Great. How do you think our virtual festival impacts the local community this year? And can it also impact, obviously, like you just said, it can impact outside because we're getting a further reach virtually into different states, new buyers, new art collectors that always can't travel to Tampa. But what do you think it's doing for our local community?
Well, I think it's really amazing that the festival this year is still doing awards. I think that is beautiful. It's going to be a great way to help out some artists that really need that help right now. And I also think it's just wonderful that the people in the community were still, donating their time and their money to support the festival this year and come together and make this happen. And kind of run it as much of like a full festival, more than what I've seen otherwise. So thank you guys, and thanks for everybody out there in the community that's helped and all the volunteers that's helped with Gasparilla.
I know it's a big group of people, art lovers that volunteer every year. So they're just so enthusiastic to make sure that artists are, finding more resources to get their name out there and get their artwork out there and sold and, stay in the career of making art. So yes, our volunteers are amazing, to say the least. I have to make mention It is less common to see a female metal sculpture artist. I'm sure you knew this question had to come.
Well,
who or what inspired you to get into metalworking?
Well, when I have been making art my entire life, and I pretty much went through all the mediums. I just kept looking and searching until I found one. And I'm from a really rural area. Like, I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. And once I'd sort of exhausted everything, there was an agricultural welding class for like farmers that I took in high school. And as soon as I tried it, I just really loved metal. I just felt like I'd found my medium. I always enjoyed mediums that had pattern making involved in them. And there's a lot of pattern making involved in this, and a lot of like forethought and planning. And then I went to the Art Institute of Chicago after that, and I just focused in metal sculpture. And I've been doing this for a long time now, it feels like.
That's a great answer. Thinking more about like how you explain that the process and how you have to put so much forethought into it, would you tell the viewers about your process? Pretty much like, you know, the video did a good job of start to finish, but can you go into like a little bit more explanation of like how you get started with the sketches on paper and how that actually morphs into this gorgeous 3D dimensional sculpture?
Yeah, sure. I actually just start like in my living room and create tiny little sketches until I find one that I feel like is expressing what I'm trying to express at that time. And then I sort of, yeah, they're very tiny. And then I blow them up with a projector, and I will sort of have like a one-sided view. And I just sort of use that as like template. I'll make little templates like that. And then I use those to start cutting out pieces of metal. And I kind of work like, I have the flat pieces, but after I have that started, I really just work in the space. So I kind of figure out the thickness and the dimensions and the way they curve. I sort of just, I figure that all as I'm working, because I used to originally try to plan some of that out, and I realized that is the wrong thing to do. You need to view it in the space and continually look at the piece and continually judge it as you're working on it to get the look that you want. So yeah, that's sort of how I work with it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. That's a good explanation. Yeah, so pretty much it starts off with a plan, but it also evolves on its own, as all good art does. It kind of tells you what it wants to be at some point.
And I even change the colors and things a lot of times. Like, I do a lot of patina work. I'm working with corten and bronze, and sometimes I'll decide halfway through I want to go with a different kind of patina or a different kind of look, and it'll just be like kind of what evolves with the piece. So
we're going to bring up some of the Inventi shop on the screen, and we would love for you to talk about some of the pieces. And I actually have a good question in regards to this. A little further down, so your work has a sense of balancing oppositions. And for instance, the circular pieces called Maga and Verna really spoke to me. They are wonderfully symmetrical in their asymmetry. And would you take a moment to describe your points on these, or any of the others on the page that are your favorites?
Oh, you're talking about the wall pieces, the round wall pieces?
Yeah, they're circular. We're getting to them now.
Yeah, so I'm actually like, they kind of call this being split brain. So most people are left brain or right brain, and I'm completely split right down the middle. So both of those pieces are sort of about me always fighting myself and having this duality inside myself, where I'm very strict and controlled, and then I'm very creative, and it's sort of about that fight all the time.
Oh, we'll get along good. That's probably why they spoke to me so well. Tell us a little bit about your patina process. What goes into that?
It really depends on the piece. And let me just grab one real quick.
Okay.
Just so you can see a little bit clearer. So this part here is 410. So this is a natural rusted finish. I generally do, most of the time I'll do a natural rusted finish, but sometimes like the piece in the video, I actually did just a chemical patina. That was a brush on patina. But this particular one here, I did a fuming technique. So I put this in a chamber with ammonia, salt, vinegar, different like sort of simple chemicals, and I let it sit and I babysit it until it turns a color. And then I can actually go in and paint in details with other mixes of chemicals that I create to do more of like the sort of that pattern in there. Sometimes I get natural patterns, which are really great, but other times not so much. So it just really varies a lot depending on the piece.
What would you say your size ranges are?
Well,
yeah. Big to bigger.
I have one that's like 9 feet outside. This one's like maybe 7'4", 7'5". I'm not sure exactly offhand. And then my smaller ones, like this isn't quite as small as they get, but I don't do much smaller than this. The smallest ones are probably around like 24 tall. So either tabletop to outdoors. Yeah.
Super
so quite a bit.
I love it. Do you have any wisdom you would like to share with aspiring metal artists, or since you're knowledgeable in a lot of the art fields?
I would just say, I think you should try not to be scared and try to be really honest with your artwork. You know, don't be afraid to do something that you think is going to be a little bit weird or unusual. Don't be afraid that people won't like it, because they're going to see your honesty come out in your artwork. And I think that's really important, to be honest with yourself and be honest with your artwork. And also make the best work you can. Take the time and make the very best work you can every time, and you're going to have a great deal of success.
Such a good answer. Thank you. All right, probably 1 or 2 more questions before we wrap up. Could you show us or tell us about one of your favorite pieces that you have right now, and that you've created, and why it's one of your favorites? I love it. We're going on a tour.
Yeah. Sorry. So this piece here is, sorry, your finger was right in front of them. This piece here is one of my current favorites because I did all this work in here, and this is a lot about just like a rift and a separation. So this is kind of like about a lot of the feelings coming out from the pandemic, but I really do enjoy the textures in this, and I was able to create a whole like sort of different patina process in here with a lot of details. So this one's sort of a favorite one for me because I really challenged myself with all the angular pieces that I welded in here and formed individually. So whenever I can do something really challenging and push myself to work through that, I always enjoy those pieces a little bit longer. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us an inside peek into your studio and being a wonderful example of what the virtual festival, what the Gasparilla Virtual Festival can do for artists. Everyone, this has been Dominice Gilbert. Is there anything you would like to say before goodbyes?
I just want to thank everybody at Gasparilla for letting me be a part of this virtual festival. I really appreciate it. And can't wait to see you next year.
Us too, can't wait to see you in person. And again, is your studio by appointment only, or is it open hours?
It's by appointment only, but I will be open next Saturday for Second Saturday Art Walk from 5 to 9. It's 2341 First Avenue South. You can look me up, Dominice Gilbert. My name's unusual, so it comes up really easily online. So you should be able to find me.
Wonderful. Thank you for watching our Q&A with Dominice Gilbert. Her art is for sale on our website, and we'll be back in a little bit with our next interview. Thank you, Dominice.
Thank you.